In this video, I want to show you a very important yet very simple chart of Bitcoin to be able to determine with a high probability whether we are going to get a more bullish or a more bearish trend. Because right now, Bitcoin is back above $20,000, getting a lot of questions. Are we back in a bull market? We didn't break down from that support level. Instead, we're going up. Is this the start of a new bull market? So let me share this with you because this is a very easy way to tell yes or no. So let's dive straight into it. We have a 3-day chart over here. What we have, as always, is the blue is the 50 simple moving average. The red is the 200 simple moving average. And I'm just going to get rid of the price here. It's 20,700 just to make the chart a little bit bigger here. But what you can see, it's very, very simple. The 50 moving average on the 3-day chart is a very good indicator of whether we are in a bullish or a bearish trend. Because as you can see over here, the whole 2017 bull run, we stayed above the 50 moving average. When we broke below it, that was a signal. You can see here, the end of January, that was a signal of the start of the bear market. And obviously it doesn't catch the top of the move, right? It dropped a lot before it signaled that. But from the moment that we broke under it, the whole rest of the bear market, we stayed under that 50 moving average. And even though there were some fake outs, you can see over here a couple fake outs, we never reclaimed it and it just stayed below it until ultimately the very bottom. After multiple months of sideways accumulation, eventually we caught up and had enough strength, enough selling was done, enough strength to break through it. And then we had a massive run. So let me show you these annotations over here. This is when we reclaimed, encircled over here. Every time we reclaimed that 50 moving average on the 3-day chart from below, it led to big upside. You can see over here, from 4,500 to 13,000. Over here, this was a bit smaller. It went from 8.5 to 10.5. That's still a 25% move. But that was when we got the sell-off. And at this point here, again, when we broke below it, it was a warning sign over here that we had more downside going. Then we got back above it again, and you can see that was about $8,000. Went all the way up to 65,000 after that, right? You can see we didn't go back below it. Here we retested it, we stuck on it, but we didn't go back below it, and we had a massive bull market. We broke back below it at this point. When it broke below it at 46, it ended up dropping to about 28. Then when it reclaimed it again over here in August of last year, we went from about 44,000 to 69,000. So again, that is a 50% move approximately. We broke below it at the end of last year in December of 2021. And again, that was another sign that we were probably going a lot lower. And we haven't gotten back above it. You can see we tried to reclaim it over here. This was in April of this year, March, April of this year. And you can see we did not reclaim it. We got some fake outs over here and ultimately it failed. It got below it and it's been below it ever since. So now after about 4 months of sideways action, this was the June low, we have gone sideways approximately. Okay, obviously there's some fluctuations on the lower time frame, but in general, if you look at this, it's pretty sideways. And now the price is very close to reaching that 50 moving average again. So now we are approaching decision time where we are either going to get rejected and have another major sell-off pretty soon, I'd say in the next couple of weeks, or we are actually going to reclaim this, which could then, based on what I've shown you here, the past history of this, is likely to lead more follow through. And whether that's a 25% move, you know, maybe taking us from 21 to 26 or 28,000, or whether it's a much bigger move all the way back up to here, the 200, maybe into the high 30s. Once we reclaim this, if we properly reclaim this, I'm not talking about a fake out, not a few wicks. If we properly get above the 50 moving average, like we did over here, and we reclaim it, there is a lot of potential upside here. But until that happens, we can also get rejected once again, because you saw what happened the last time we tested it. We had a fake out, we got rejected. We went from 46 all the way to 17. So the question is going to be here, are we going to get rejected? And as you can see, this is currently about 21,500. We can get a little bit of a fake out. Maybe we go to 22 or 22,500, somewhere there. If we do that and we get rejected, I think the downside is probably going to be somewhere in the mid to low teens. But if we can reclaim it, we're looking at potentially 25, 28,000, maybe even upwards of 30,000 if it can reclaim that. So that is the bear and bull scenario. I don't claim to say which way it is going to go. I'm not trying to predict the future here. I'm trying to recognize what has happened in the past, and I'm pointing out that we are at that same crucial decision point once again. So are we at a point like here in the bear market where it tested it, rejected, tested, rejected, tested it, rejected, and sold off another 50%, right? Or the same time over here in 2019 where we tested it from the bottom from 10,000 and we dropped back to 7,000, 30% decline? Or are we going to be at a point where we are here, where we're going to start a rally where that took us from 4,000 to 13,000, right? So both are a possibility, but keep in mind, we have not reclaimed it. The macro environment is still bearish. Interest rates have been increased. We're expecting another 75 basis point increase on the 2nd of November, and even further increases, even though those decisions or those increase amounts might be less. The end result is still that the rates are being increased, making money more expensive and making the strategy of using borrowed money harder to get a return on because the interest rate becomes higher. So I will update you on this over time as we get a significant development. If we reject it, if we reclaim it, either way, in a week or two, I'll do an update on this and show you what the result is. I just want to bring this to you now so you can see it. Set an alert. Keep an eye on this. Obviously, this is a 3-day chart, meaning every candle takes 3 days to close. So even if you wick above it, if we don't get a candle close above this, then it doesn't count as a reclaim and it could be a potential rejection. Even here, we have barely gotten any closes above it. You see, we got some wicks, but it failed. So we are getting very close to that decision time. What's it going to be? Are we going to get rejected? And do we go lower into the mid to low teens, which I still very much think is a possibility. But if we flip this, if we reclaim it properly, not a fake out, then I'm going to go with what has happened historically on the chart. And if we do reclaim this, then it's likely the trend is going to give us more upside, more bullishness until we close back below it again, right? So if we reclaim it, the trend stays bullish until we drop back below it. And then, of course, you can look on lower time frames that give you quicker confirmations of reversals, because this is obviously a 3-day chart. So you can see the confirmation of reversal here dropping back below it came a lot later. 13,000, it only came at 10,000, right? But when we get back above there, we can consider, okay, the trend is now bullish, but we are going to look on the daily chart or the 4-hourly chart for potential signs of reversal to be able to catch it higher up and earlier than having to wait for failure back down here. And obviously that's something that we have to do on the lower time frames. And if you're interested in doing that with us, join my VIP group, join the Discord, because I'm in there every single day sharing chart updates on lower time frames, also sharing my own trade movements, my own buy and sell movements. Everything is there, and I give regular updates that I don't share publicly. I write a newsletter every single month. I do monthly video updates for members only. So if you're interested in that, second link in the description down below. And if you did like this video, please smash the like button.